There we go. I am now recording. It does say hi YouTube in the recording, so you're good. Didn't see what's there clean off desk? Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Should we try to keep it semi-serious? Well, no, it'll be edited down, is the idea. So, like, it's gonna be it's gonna be like, we'll fucking figure it out. You guys don't have to do anything special. The only special is me. I am special. All right, let me. Ah, fuck! All my tools are on the floor. Mother liquor. All right, give me a second. I love that we're recording this, by the way. Hi, YouTube. All right, I'm gonna go pick up the crap over here. I'll like get the camera down so you guys can see. Have fun. You guys can see down there? Yeah, you guys can see down there. We're home. Don't worry about it, bro. Why are you worried about it? Stop worrying about it. Oh, can you believe you guys are getting this for free, by the way? For literal free. Help out your boy Simon. Go to the fucking, go to patreon.com/Black Simon and sign up for the $3 a month tier if you haven't already. And if you already have, thank you. You're awesome. Wait, now I just realized my screwdrivers are actually there. They didn't fall off the table. So we didn't need to bend over. I bent over just for you guys.
Thought.
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 Thought. Thought. Thought.
Thought.
The fucking sound test mics aren't even plugged in?
Thought.
Yeah, they're not plugged in. It's better be in the final cut on YouTube, by the way. Wait. Yeah, the music won't be there. Yeah, the music won't be there, right? Yeah. The hell did I join into? Welcome to the Diversity TKL review stream. This is the official review stream. I should have probably like notified the guy who made the keyboard to be like, yo, come watch. But like, whatever, it's fine. All right, today we are going to review the Diversity TKL, which is not this, okay? This is the 880 Cone Feet Extravaganza coming to you in 2026, hopefully on blackdrop.net from Joms of Joms LLC Fabrication Studio Tech. Group by 2025, shoot review 2026, edit review 2027, publish 2028. I mean, the hope, and it is just hope, is that I can hopefully bamboozle somebody in the basement into like doing the editing for me when that somebody comes back from Germany. All right, remember, boys, on this angle, by the way, there's going to be no chat. Sorry, F in the chat. But on this mode, we're going to answer all the questions like this. I now know what Zazabert is, finally. Because I can read the words there, and now I finally like understand what the emote is. It took 6 years, boys. 6 years. Okay. Let's plug it in, Giggity. Where hole? Hole, is hole in the correct place? No, it's not. Hole is in the middle. Hey, listen, there were like fucking 4 tops, so. Does it work? Yep, it still works. All right, so like already we're off to a great start. I guess the first bit is we are going to find the group by and IC posts. So diversity. So I guess, yeah, we'll check it out here. Also, how awesome is it that like we can just search shit, or we'll be able to search shit on the website and just like click to look at it, and then like I can like click this to like go see the VOD. Tell me that's not freaking awesome, boys. So this is the group by, and the only reason why I'm looking at the group by is to try and figure out all the keyboard specifications, to figure out the keyboard pricing, to figure out how many keyboards were sold, and the kind of, the kind of just vibes. We're going to vibe check it. We are going to show who created this, which I know is rare. Wait. Oh, wait, no, it's there. Yeah, it's there. Like, we have the correct person. Yeah. So it is inspired by original cherry boards. And here we can see the hard case. The hard case actually is that color. And the boxes actually looked like that. And it actually came with a towel / like keyboard cover / microfiber cloth / wrap, I guess, because it's kind of like self-adhesive, like hook and loop fabric. No lies found. Very, very cool. So it is top mount. So plate top or PCB top, and you can also gasket mount your PCB. Cool. Unbuilt, 2.2 kilos. Built around 2.6 kilos. And what we'll do is we're going to validate that because we have the technology. So this would be built with DCS. So not the heaviest, but also not the lightest. Oh, okay. The secret is to just keep trying. All right, 2.6 kilo built is the target, and we are 2532 built. Honestly, if this was GMK or SA, we'd be over 2600. Because yeah, all of this is DCS, including the accents. And DCS on average is about 1 mil to 1.1 mil thick, whereas GMK is typically 1.4. Front height of 16.3 millimeters. Now the front has the little the POG fillet, not a POG chamfer, but a POG fillet. It doesn't seem super obvious here, but in person, very noticeable, and we will check it out later. It was made by DDS, which, holy shit, I did not realize it was made by DDS for the price. All right, what did you get? You got a top, a bottom, a brass weight, an alu plate. You got... I'm very confused. Did you get 2 black mask PCBs? This is confusing. I'm just letting you know. I could probably go check. Let's go check. 2 PCBs of your choice. Let's find out. So here is the hard case that the keyboard comes in. It's a abnormal shape because the board is longer than it's kind of tall. But like I said, it actually matches what was advertised. Here's the interesting cloth, but we're more interested in PCBs, so let's find out. All right. I mean, first of all, plateless build guide. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. All right. I see a polycarbonate plate. It's real flexy for polycarbonate. Wow. And I've got the build that's in here. And I've got, what is this? 1 PCB, 2 PCB, and 2 plate. Cool. So yeah, that is hot swap, and that is solder. Okay. So you get 1 hot swap and 1 solder. All right. I mean, I got 2 plates. I don't think you guys get 2 plates. I mean, I say it like the group buy is going to happen in the future. The group buy has already happened, boys. Okay. This is a classic Simon review. Let's continue going through the presentation. So, PC units, PCB top, plate for plateless soldering, set of screws, feet, force brake, wrapping fabric. Okay, that's what they call it. And here's our target layouts. So we got our, starting from here, I guess, you got your your Waytech MK06 layout, which is the layout that I wanted for my group buy unit. Now, I don't know if I'm getting a group buy unit, but I requested one, which I will pay in full for. And the unit that you see here, by the way, is going back. I do not get to keep it as per my own rules and the fact that the guy wants his board back. This board's author is going to run a new group buy. Awesome. Layout number 2 is 9009 layout, and that's what I currently have. Again, this is a TKL, so you only have the TKL area of it. And then finally, classic IBM Battleship. It's just so handsome. It's called the Dad. It's great. Look at that. Look at that. It even comes with a pepper mill. It even comes with a pepper mill. And chopsticks. It's so good. Okay. So G80 2100, 9009, and MK06. Those are the 3 official layouts, which very cool. It started at $338. This is a like once in a life. Like this comes once. It included a pair of pliers. Really? Do I have like a free set of pliers? Anyway, $338 for this is insane because this is the type of pricing that you get like once a decade for a project. To get something so nice, so clean, so simple, so well priced from a reputable manufacturer. I don't know. It's a home run. It's a slam dunk. It's a, what do they call it in curling when the guy brushes it perfectly and then the thing lands in the other thing and it bumps away everybody else, and like what's that called? That. Also some sanding thing, like one for nails. A file. You also got a file. That's very, very cool. So there we go. That has been our presentation of the group buy itself. It was cheap. Hole in one. That's what it's called. Thank you. I thought they called it a 3-pointer. And one cherry switch of almost every cut. Okay, I didn't get one of those. So like, if I didn't see it, it didn't happen. Okay. Let's immediately pivot into what you actually got in the box. And what you got in the box was awesome because you get a plate and 2 PCBs, again, for $338, no matter what you buy. It's pretty cool. And like, you can tell that the amount of like time and effort spent on packaging is notable because each individual thing has its little sticker. And sure, stickers are not inherently expensive to make, but somebody needed to go through the effort of caring enough to say, hey, this one is for the accessories, put it on the accessories one when you pack it. I appreciate that. This is just lovely. I mean, typically boards that offer plateless support are typically boards that people buy for plateless, right? And even though this board comes with a plate, it also comes with this. It could have only been better if it was reusable. So instead of using mouse bites, it was like a 3D printable, like one locks into the other. I've seen them. Hopefully in the future, we can start getting stuff like that. But already this is spectacular value. Here's the hard case. I've got it labeled here because it's in my review pipeline. But you know what? Not anymore. All right. Hard case comes with quite a bit of foam on top, a little bit of foam on the bottom. So it's thicker, top to bottom, than what the board naturally would have. But it gets you a little bit more storage space here. Now, this isn't zippered, nor is it separated. So it's not like fully featured hard case wise, but you do get a custom color. And do you get anything custom on the zippers? No. The case has no handle. So it's not a carrying case. It is a storage case. I mean, theoretically, you could carry it in your hand as you go places or just hold it like this, but not great. The final thing in here, by the way, that I do want to go over, and I will apologize for the cat hairs, is this. So this is like a towel in texture, but it sticks to itself, which is interesting. So it's kind of like Velcro. And one side has a printed design of the 9009 layout. And theoretically, this is the kind of thing where you could put any object in it, no matter the size, and it would just be wrapped. Like, it's very, very cool. And it's quite sticky. Like, she's thick. Oh, are the hom hairs also included? Unfortunately, the hom hairs are not included. There are lots of little orange boy hairs, Unfortunately, not unfortunately, these are going to be sent back to Somejoy. Would this been done at a loss? I think this was done at pure break even, assuming like nothing went wrong, and I don't think anything went wrong, like anything major. It's kind of like CCR sex. CCR sex is being run, assuming nothing goes wrong. Like there'll be like enough money to like pay the designers half of something fair, and then like nothing for me, probably nothing for James. And if it goes poorly, then it would be at a loss. And if it goes well, then like maybe like we'd have $1,000. That'd be cool. Unfortunately, he went with SGR for the even when DDS was there. Well, like we kind of had the option of like doing DDS at the end with the CCR sex, right? But we decided, let's just go with the manufacturer that plans to like still be making keyboards in a year, at the very least. Though that didn't fucking stop DDS from being like, hey, you still owe us money for your prototypes. Haha. Let's get started. So, side profile. Side profile is interesting, right? Let me try and line that up so it's perfect in camera. There you go. So, straight seam, and it is a exaggerated seam where there's a tiny chamfer on both the top and the bottom, straight into the seam. It's kind of seamless-esque where the top is the majority of the height, bottom is not, all throughout. This is curved inwards, so you've got a nice little inside angle, and then we've got another inside angle here, and then those meet here at this corner where this curve goes all the way out to the very edge, which, you know what, for the price point, it's fine. We got our feet. These are specialty feet. I don't think I've seen these feet in other projects. There we go. All 4 feet are still on the keyboard, which means the adhesive is good enough for my usage. These are kind of similar to the Vertex angle feet. The Vertex angle feet were notorious, along with the Matrix 1.2 OG feet, for just flying off. But it's good. I'm putting quite a bit of pressure, and it's not moving. On the back, we've got the actual logo of the keyboard. I'll show you a close-up. There you go. It goes Veridicity. There you go. That's what it says. The DEI keyboard, the veridicity keyboard. If you guys didn't notice, by the way, the screws are very small. Those are teensy little screws. And are those Torx? Those might be Torx instead of hex. Seam goes all the way across. Very simple USB port design. Basically, the PCB with the port reaches right up until right there. I presume there's a daughter board, but daughter board and port goes up right until the edge. So there's no relief. There's a tiny little bit of chamfer right there. Already on macro cam, there's a little bit of chamfer. If we can, come on. Yeah, tiny bit of chamfer as you get close to the port. And functionally, once you can remember that the port is in the middle, kind of incorrect for boards of this generation, you can kind of go for it. So there, I can feel it, and there we go. So I was looking at my screen, so let me not look at my screen and give it a shot. There it is, and okay, a little bit harder, but it's not a port that immediately guides the cable in. This is a port where you're going to want to look at it and plug it in. Or once you're used to it, you can probably nail it without doing it blind, or you can nail it while doing it blind. We talked about the front little chamfer. sorry, the front little fillet right here. And here's that fillet from the side. It's not super aggressive from the side. However, when you look at it from the top, naturally, from a typing angle, it's pretty nice looking. And the front height is quite minimal. This looks like realistically 18-ish, if I had to guess. All in all, nice, simple, clean design. Again, it's a single top, single bottom, and if I'm not mistaken, a single weight through weight. Now, going with a single through weight isn't necessarily cheaper than going with multiple weights. In some cases, it's cheaper to do multiple weights than it is to do a big through weight, especially when material costs are expensive and machining costs, I guess. How many colors did this come in? I don't think this came in many colors. It came in red, it came in brown, it came in blue, it came in gray, which is silver, it came in orange, and it came in black. And then it came in polycarbonate. Wow. That's wild. I didn't realize it. I thought it was a single color at that price point. I thought it was just you get silver. And I was wrong. That makes this even better of a deal. I mean, none of the colors are like, unique colors, right? None of them are, never before seen. You only, you know what I mean. But it's not so bad. Let's open her up. And, we'll look at the screws, then we'll look at the internals, then we'll talk build, then we'll talk feel, then we'll talk PCB. Then I gotta plug in my microphone so we can do the typing tests. Though I think Kate might have already done the typing test for me. I don't know. We'll see. If I remember correctly, they sent you the screwdriver, right? That was specific to this. Or am I hallucinating? I might be hallucinating. God, I hate Torx so much because I just tried all of this and it doesn't work. It would be really nice if it worked, but unfortunately, no. Torx can be turned by the wrong tool. Hex cannot be turned by the wrong tool and the wrong size tool. Torx is meant for if you need torque and for security reasons. Why would you use it on a keyboard? I think that's my one beef with this keyboard is the fact that, all right, I have to go get my screwdriver set. Oh, wait, no, I have my, my Screw Me Hard set. 1 second. All right, thankfully, we've got one of the greatest screwdriver sets of all time. Assume one of these is going to be close, probably Himothy. Imperial Torx at 1/8. Oh, God. Sorry, my bad, boys. My bad. We gotta. Not. Once you have the right tool, the screws do come out, but it'd be nice if, okay, I don't know. I'm just hex based, hex pilled, that's it. That's another cry for help. If you ever see that. Amazingly, this came with a Wera screwdriver. Wait, really? Are you guys just making stuff up? Somebody's going to be like, this came with the original Declaration of Independence. Hey, Simon, did you know that this keyboard came with the original Mona Lisa? Where hex one? Got down. Wait, are you saying it's a hex? Are you saying it's a 1.5 hex? I have a 1.3. Here's a 1.5 hex. It's not that. I can free spin in the screw. So I guess you guys got different screws. And for the record, this is literally the thing you just said. It's a Wera Hex 1.5. Unless there's a special kind of Hex 1.5 that's Well, apparently, like, if you got the group buy version of this, you can actually unscrew it. So I guess my only qualm with this has already been resolved, which is typically how these reviews go. Oh, I didn't realize this was a prototype one. Okay. We should be very clear that this is a prototype. Good luck. Good luck, Hubert. So all set, 8 screws. Now I will do a screw review, but this is a very unofficial screw review because the screws in the prototype unit are different than the screws in the group buy unit. Okay. They might be the same kind of screws, but I cannot confirm or deny. Okay. There we go. There is our screws. I'm going to get in there. So if you did purchase this board, you will receive or have received or will have received or will in the future receive, depending on where in your time travel experience you're at, a Wera 1.5 hex driver, as well as screws that will match it. What I have here are different screws that do not match it, but don't worry about it. I will review these screws though. There's no knurling, which, I mean, first of all, the screws are small, and I understand that it is not like, you don't need big screws and you don't need a lot of screws for a keyboard typically, because the keyboard kind of keeps itself together. These are a little small though. I wish they were a little bigger. But the screws themselves are good. Tips aren't dirty. Threads are clean. They go in and out real easy. The finishing on them is pretty good. The chrome job is solid. Can we see reflections in the chrome? We can see a little bit of reflections in the chrome. No, not much. Not much. Dirty tips. So, typically something that I try and keep an eye on, especially when I'm disassembling a review unit or I'm taking a look, or I have just received something, is I'll look at the very tips of the screws to give me a indication of how clean the screw threads are on the board. And that's generally like indicative of how much care and attention was put in to like the finishing aspect of the board, because somebody needed to get in there with like a little pressurized air, blow it out, wash it out. Typically you put the screw in, you pull the screw out. It's not something you'll typically notice visually, but you'll notice it if you're twisting. You'll feel that grit. Now, are these magnetized? These are not magnetized. These are not ferrous, is the correct term. But then again, these are not the screws that came in the group buy unit. Let's tour the inside of the board. I'm going to open this up carefully because I don't recall what the daughter board / JST experience was. It looks like it was incredibly well done. It's all on the top. Okay. Let's put this aside and start with the bottom case. Now, the bottom case has the majority of the heft because it has the weight. So first things first, we are going to see what this thing weighs. So 1,700 grams, just over 1,700 grams, which is quite heavy. That's a TKL right there. And here on the bottom, we see 8 screw points for the weight, and those match up with where this weight is. So it looks like this is a singular piece of brass that has been machined with various ridges, and I'll show you on the macro cam. So there's the ridges that are machined into the brass. So you got the debut branding there in the middle. I don't know what that's about, but I mean, this was the debut. And then we've got incredibly small machined ridges as well as row level ridges. So these are done for a variety of purposes. These were most notably done on stuff like the Glare TKL. And typically you want to have geometry, especially with brass weights. You want to have geometry that can capture sound. And that can be done in a lot of ways. You can drill holes, you can do slats. And the reason why we have the slats low here and high here is we can go low uh, under the switch. That way we're evading any potential shorts, and we go higher between them so we can create sound traps. So it's way harder for that sound to be able to move laterally, and instead will bounce back in a direction doing cool sound stuff is the basic idea. On the bottom, I see 8 little force break pads between the top and the bottom. And I see machining here. So that machining pattern that's done on the brass continues here onto the aluminum for a little bit. And here on the right, similarly. So this means if you have a numpad here, or you've got a nav pad, basically, you're going to get some of the sound benefits of those little raised edges, which is nice to see. What else do we see here? We see alignment tabs right there, little alignment tabs, so the top and the bottom stay aligned laterally, so left, right, up, down, or left, right, north, south, east, west, I guess. But in addition to that, I see little gaps here. And this indicates to me that this is where the gaskets would sit if you were to gasket mount this. Right here, we can see a little bit of the material has been eaten out just to get a little bit more clearance. Like it's very, very, very thin down here. And typically, this is one of the major limitations for a keyboard is how thin can you make this point right here? Because you want to be able to get your plate and PCB assembly fitting as low as possible. That way your typing front height is not too high. And the way that it's done on this board is even more inset than the standard ridges is a even lower ridge here on the bottom row, which I'll show you on the macro cam. So you see how that's flat and that's indented. So it digs in a little bit more, kind of like a little channel, like a little dike. And I think that's it for the bottom. There's no complexity to it. There's no daughter board on it. It would, most designers would have put the daughter board here because you've got the empty space, right? You may as well put it here. But the advantage of putting it on top is 1, assembly is easy. 2, you get to keep costs down. 3, you get to go way more compact. 4, you get the acoustic benefits because if you do put a daughter board here, you'll have to either put it under the material. That way, the sound that bounces off the daughter board doesn't sound hilariously different than the sound bouncing off the material next to it, right? But then when you do that, you're hollowing out the base material. And when you hollow out the base material, you're affecting the acoustics of the base material as well. Last thing is center of gravity. So I can grab it by right there. So this is what, the tab row? Center of gravity is right around the tab row, which is a little bit higher than the home row, which means there's a significant amount of weight on this side, more than I had expected. Typically, your center of gravity is your ASD. And to be fair, it's really close. It's really close. It's well balanced. At least the bottom is well balanced. Now, with the top, it might tweak it a little bit, but it doesn't feel unbalanced. Like if the weight was pushed all the way to the left or all the way to the right or all the way to the top, that would have been problematic. And that's something I feel a lot where there's too much mass being put here. And then this area here is brightened up far too much. So the weight is kind of situated more forward in the case than you would expect, which is nice. Okay, let's move on to the bottom. Sorry, the top. And this appears to be hex. Are those 1 point? They might be 1.3s. Are you a hex 1.3? You are. Well, I mean, it turns it. So I'm going to pull the PCB out, disconnect the daughter board. We can check out the top, and then we'll go through a couple blank PCBs that I have. We can check out one of the plates. Then we put it all together. We can type on it. We can talk about like where there's potential. And by that, I mean potential for your builds to, do something fun, to do something interesting. We will do Q&A, by the way. Like if you guys actually have questions, you just hit me up and I'd love to answer your questions. Like your question may not be on the screen when I answer it, but I want to like do my usual review, but also be able to like talk with you guys. Because when I lock myself in this room and I have to do like the review by myself for like 3 hours plus editing, it's not good, bro. It's not a good thing. We do round 2 electric boogaloo of screw review. All right. So in addition to the case screws, we also have the plate screws. Are these the final plate screws? I have no idea, but they are manipulatable with a 1.3 hex. They're kind of flat topped, but not countersunk, but real close to countersunk, like flat sunk. Is that a thing? They're flat sunk, extra thunk, chromed up screws. And here we've got the actual keyboard top. So keyboard top, it's a simple part. It's flat, not much going on. Oh, look at that. A little piece of, what are you? Little piece of polycarbonate. So a little piece of polycarbonate just fell out of that mount. Oh wait, one fell out of there. Well, I guess we're just going to drop them all out. So these are used for spacers some of these are like stuck in there and some of these are just popping right out, which just tolerances. So some are friction fit, some are not. I'm sure if I just smack it a couple times, that none of them will come out. Okay. Yeah, like if I pull, it'll come out. All right. So there's our keyboard top. Being predominantly a top mount keyboard, you can top mount it with the plate. So the plate would go directly into this lower mount here. So plate would go directly in there. If you're building this plateless, you got to add a little bit of a spacer. And here we do have the polycarbonate spacer. So this is very similar to something like the Seal Full Size or the Seal 80, just general Sensi stuff. Acoustically, what that does is it connects the FR4 to a larger surface area and to a slightly softer material. So it kind of plays the role that a little gasket, like a little rubber gasket would do, but it's far harder than a rubber gasket is. So it still gives you that top mount experience. So right here, we can see on the bottom, we had our alignment tabs, and here we have our catches up top. Each of them is very close to a case screw, which is fantastic design, by the way. You do want that. The point of the alignment pillars is to allow you to correctly position the board when you're screwing it together. Now, it's mostly like a 2017 board problem. We don't really have these problems anymore. But the reason why we don't have these problems is because designers have gone and started doing, right there. Well, there's your mount point. There's your alignment tab. There's your mount point and your alignment tab. And I don't know. It makes me happy to see the little things done right. Up top, we can also see where the daughter board is mounted. This is a very, very, very thin daughter board. What's the technical term for this? This is a fly, I think, fly daughter board in terms of form factor. Here, I'll give you a nice little close-up. There it is. Get that ribbon cable out of the way. Ribbon cable is not my favorite. a lot of people will talk about how many connections the connector is rated for, and they'll say, it's only 50 connections, for example. That's not as good as another thing that allows 100 connections, but it's mostly, for me, it's mostly having to do with just the ease of doing it and undoing it. I didn't have any issues with this, predominantly because the plate and the daughter board are both on the same side. So you didn't have to do any weird fishing. Fly daughter board isn't that wild. This might be a different daughter board. Maybe in post we can figure out what kind of daughter board it is. Let's have a look at PCB finally. So here's my built PCB, and we'll check out a unbuilt PCB. I see a little pad jump there, so I must have fried it. It happens. It's no big deal. It's not a fancy PCB. It's not showy. It's no labels. Doesn't tell you, what's what on the bottom row. But if you look very closely at the bottom row, you'll actually see that your layout option is the literal layout of the PCB. That's it. You can do a little bit of ISO over here. That's as far as it goes. The bottom row is fully set. You've got wait. There's a little bit of support here. I think that might exist to allow for 10U spacebars. So 8K support on the PCB. You love to see it. We can see the MCU right there. If you look very closely at the back, you see that basically like every switch location is taken up. So like the issue that you run into is where do you put the controller? Because typically the controller will be over here, but if you're doing 8K, then that eats up the controller location. And then people will typically pull the controller down here to the spacebar area. But when you pull it down to the spacebar area, I don't know, like other problems happen. I'm not sure. I'm not a big smart PCB man, but I know some big smart PCB men, and some of them can probably tell you in the comments why. And there up top is the thing. So let's look at it in the macro cam. I'll pop the caps off just so we can actually look at it. Okay, there it is. Can I get any text? Oh, mamma mia. Come on. All right, I'm going to go manual. We're going manual. Going manual. Come on. What is that? STM32. There you go. There's your controller. You've done it. Ooh. That is not easy. All right, let me put this stuff on before I forget. And I will bust out a full PCB and a plate so we can have a thorough look at what it looks like unbuilt. Here is the hot swap variant of the daughter board, of the PCB with a daughter board. We got the same branding, some alternation of north-south, but predominantly all the hot swap sockets are north with a few small exceptions. Looks like the exceptions are over here where you can do a 2U, and where else? Over here where you can do a step bro. And it looks like this is exclusively for ANSI layout, unfortunately. 1.6 mil. FR4, seems like. Is it? To be determined. All right, second PCB we've got also 1.6 mil. So this is the same PCB that we've got in our unit right now. It looks like you're able to move this switch and this switch in order to deal with a wider spacebar, which is pretty cool. Nothing fancy. It's, I presume it's Vial instead of VIA, which means that it'll also be VIA compatible, but Vial is nice because you've got key maps, default key maps on board. pre-flashed, which is nice. You don't have to download anything, find anything. That's lovely. Here we've got a singular plate. This is a polycarbonate plate, very flexy, very, very flexy. This is pretty much as soft as a PP plate. The only difference is you see that bounce, see that this, that's more stiff. That's polycarbonate. So polycarbonate will have more of that stiffness, whereas polypropylene will not be so quick to snap back. It'll be a little floppier, At least like that's how you can tell on camera. You can tell in person by just feeling it. Pretty good. I am kind of afraid to bend it any more than this because of non-plastic damage. By that I mean like damage where you bend it further than it can like go back. So I don't want to break it because this is not my keyboard. This belongs to Somejoy. This was a prototype and this needs to go back so I can have my group by unit. I'm going to piece this back together and then we're going to start typing on it and feeling it out. Because like the obvious play is you build it plateless, but there might be other opportunities. All right, we got to put these guys back in and they should just slip right in. Careful with the ribbon cable. You have it in the keycaps? Yeah, it's fine. I'm not really concerned about the ribbon cable. All right, does that capture everything? Yep, that captures everything. Oh, how many of you boys actually got one of these is the real question. Like, surely, like, the majority, like, it must have been a super, super popular board. Because, like, I remember when we got to just, like, all the diversities in the show keyboard channel. I'm typing from one now. Oh, no, daddy. Won't do it. Oh. All right, we got it all wired up. All right, we got it all wired up. So, there we go. One interesting thing is all the mount points. Now, it's predominantly meant to be like a plateless board, right? It's inspired by boards that are plateless. What's the MK06 plateless? Let's not worry about it. Anyway, got 1, 2, 3, 4 mounts on the bottom row right there, cleanly outside the spacebar landing area, which is good design. Then up top, we've got 6 mounts, which may seem excessive, but is actually pretty good design, especially with all the variants of F-rows that this keyboard has. So let's not forget that the 9009 variant has a normal F-row, whereas the MK06 has a separate oh god. I'm sure like I can put pictures on the screen when you're watching this on YouTube. But if you're watching this live on Twitch, say hello to YouTube, everyone. While I struggle to get this ribbon cable in the hole. I got it. Bye YouTube. Flamingo. Yes. If you're on YouTube, type flamingo. But if you're in Twitch chat and you type flamingo, you get banned. Let's talk sound, feel, build. There's a little bit of plateless flex, and it is the type of plateless flex or the type of plateless flex that you'd expect for, I guess, just typical typing. Obviously, you want that stiffness outside the spacebar landing area. You don't want stiffness here-ish. You don't want stiffness here-ish. And overall, I think the mount ideology for this board is totally fine. Because if you did want to soften it up a little bit, I think you can gasket PCB mount, which would be less rigid in terms of the hard mounts, but still giving you, the sweetness of that soft mount. Now, in my case, the plate that I got was polycarbonate, so it's not really going to do much plating. It's predominantly just for key alignment and switch alignment if you're going to deal with switches that have very small switch legs. However, uh, aluminum plates were offered, and I think aluminum plates with stuff like the MK06 layout I know works pretty well as the G80, what is it, 3000, 2000, G80 2100 layout, where you just got that big block of F-rows here with like no gaps in between them. And for that, you kind of want that stiffness. You want it to feel like you're typing on something that's nearly steel. Build wise, if you are going to go plateless, you kind of have to go cherries or GATs. You've got to go something that's got those big switch legs. Otherwise, you might struggle with switches falling out. Now, inside the kit is basically one of these plateless alignment tab thingies, right? Like what came with the W1. And sure, it's great, but if the switches can back out this way, it's not a good thing. They'll pop right out and you'll have some crooked ones, and then you might need to go back in and fix them. And I guess most people that build platelets might be kind of used to that particular sound profile of MX Blacks or just full nylon gap pros, things with known big feats. But predominantly it's cherries. Here, let me go back into autofocus. There we go. So right there, I've got my cherry switch, which is a nice low weight lube cherry. When I say low weight, I'm talking 55 to 62 grams compared to, standard black weight, which is 70 plus. So it works quite well. Interestingly enough, I went straight for DCS, and DCS plateless is typically as crazy as you can get, right? DCS plateless is not far off from DCS carbon fiber. It's going to be loud. It's going to be high pitched. It's going to be glassy, right? But it's not. It sounds deep. It sounds mellow. It sounds comforting. It's very different than what you expect from a plateless build. Plateless, you're expecting, if it's plastic, it's going to sound like an NCR 80, which kind of sounds like a G80, just like plasticky, thonky, ploppy, other made up words. And this kind of sounds like that, but in a aluminum form, which is pretty cool. Some would expect a muted sound, but typically a muted sound is from too much mass. And this doesn't suffer from having too much mass. It's not overly massy. It's got that little bit of reverb. It's got that open airiness. It's got something going on besides a big mass that's going to eat up all your delicious switch and keycap sound. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to close this up fully, and then we're going to record some typing tests. The NCR sounds like that because it has a big cavity. This one is a lot more compact. Well, here's the thing. There's not much on the bottom case in terms of the cavity, but it sounds like there is. And having these engraved portions and these walls are accomplishing what is aimed to be accomplished, as well as the isolation offered by the polycarbonate mounts for the plate. So a lot of things are being handled the right way, which is why the board sounds as it does. And the force break is working quite well. Joy, are you excited to get this keyboard back finally after a year? I'm trying to find like a painless way to make keyboard review videos, because the way that I've been doing it has not been painless. And I kind of want to, I don't know, I just want to not be miserable when I try and make YouTube content. I know many of you support me and are subbed on Patreon specifically for me to do YouTube content. which is why I'm trying. Has this been more enjoyable? I mean, we're not done, but so far, yeah, this format is better. I mean, you have yet to see what it's going to look like on YouTube is the thing. I mean, hopefully it's nice. Oh, so handsome. So handsome. All right, give me a sec while I plug this stuff back in. Leave this part of the review, Hubert. No, I'm reading the chat. Don't leave it in the review. All right, you guys want to see some wild shit? Check this out. Sheesh. Wait. God damn it. Motherfuck. The Huck. The Huck. It sounds pretty good, right? It is a good keyboard. It is a very, oh God, oh Lord, Jesus. Hubert, keep that in the review. I mean, it sounds deep, right? It sounds incredibly deep for a for a plateless DCS built board. It sounds wide. It sounds large. It sounds magnificent. It sounds like $338 of the best investment you could have possibly spent. And if there's around 2 of this, you would be slightly remiss if you missed it. 2.6 kilos of gorgeous, affordable goodness. That. Nice. The nice center of gravity, a nice center of mass, a nice curve on the side, nice and comfy, nice to type on, deep sounding, even when built plateless, even when built with DCS. Affordable, simple in design ideology, comprehensive in terms of what you get with all the PCBs you could ever need, unless you're going to build it ISO, I assume. But like, all in all, the diversity is insane. This is like it's a once in a decade keyboard. Like it's one of those where it's just such good value and just such a fun keyboard, right? That like, why would you not? Same PCB, but different plates for all 3 layouts, right? I don't think so. I think there are specific PCBs for specific layouts, because when I look at this one, and I look at the F-Row, I can see that the F-Row matches up with the 9009 F-Row and not the G80 2100 F-Row. Listen, guts, if you guys watching on YouTube. Enjoyed my 1 year late Diversity TKL review. Hopefully edited by Hubert. Hopefully narrated by who's the most based narrator of all time. All in all, like my review for this keyboard is get a time machine, go back in time, and like get a 9009 in silver, get a nice MK06 layout in black, and like maybe get like a 2100 in brown, and then just quit keyboards. Just quit keyboards. That is my official legal and financial advice. Thank you guys for watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, you may not know this, but the Patreon goes a long way in making me want to make stuff on YouTube. So if you like supporting somebody who has no, no affiliations, no sponsors, no profit, no hopes and dreams, no will to live, please consider. Oh wait, I didn't even go on a rant for the YouTube video. I need to go on a rant. We gotta like stick a rant in there. Rant about how the pricing is too good and that it makes everything else look bad by comparison. Well, no, it's one of those projects that's just such a good deal that like it doesn't necessarily make everything else look bad. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm not in a ranty mood. Like obviously I am so over it with the world that we live in, but like I'm too tired, bro. I'm not saying I'm too tired to like, fight back. But I'm saying just like right now, it's not a good time. It's not a good time. Spend a lot of my time being upset. I'd like to be less upset. You know what makes me less upset? Nice keyboards like this.